Welcome back, traders. In this session, we are going to break down an essential smart money concept known as the ICT Propulsion Block. Okay, so what exactly is a propulsion block? In simple terms, it's a zone on the chart created by institutions during a strong price move. Okay, when smart money steps in with heavy orders, they often cause a sudden displacement in price. Okay, um, the sharp move does not happen randomly. Okay, it leaves behind an imbalance or a footprint that traders can use as a reference for future setups. So now let's just look at how this works. When institutions push price aggressively, okay, when institutions push price aggressively, when institutions push price aggressively, the candles are large, clean, and directional. Okay, this sudden move shows intent, but the market doesn't usually travel in one direction forever. It tends to return to these institutional footprints. You can see like what happened here. After this push, price tends to return, right? Price tends to return to these institutional footprints, which are the propulsion blocks, before continuing in the same direction, right? So you can see before continuing in the same direction, there's usually a return. Okay, so these zones often serve as continuation areas where traders can anticipate reactions, right? So how do you spot a propulsion block? Now, you look for displacement. Okay, that means a strong candle, a strong candle, or a series of candles that break away from consolidation or a key area. All right, a key level. So the origin of that move, the block, becomes an important reference point. Price will often come back to retest that area before continuing. All right, now, why does this happen? It's all about liquidity and order flow. All right, institutions need liquidity to fill large positions. When they push price, they don't always get all their orders filled in one move. As price comes back to the propulsion block, they complete their entries before sending the market in the intended direction again. So now it is important to note that propulsion blocks work best when combined with market structure. Okay? For example, if the market is trending upward, you look for bullish propulsion blocks. If market is trending upward, you look for bullish propulsion blocks as continuation zones. Okay? But if the market is trending downwards, bearish propulsion blocks become your areas of interest, and by aligning propulsion blocks with the overall structure, you gain clarity on which moves to focus on. Now, here is a simple way to apply it, okay? You have to identify market structure first. Are we bullish or bearish? Right? You need to understand what trend is ongoing, what the market is saying at that given time, okay? If you have higher highs and higher lows, it means we are bullish, okay? And if you have lower highs and lower lows, it means we are bearish. So it's just simple market structure, okay? Then after you've identified the market structure, the next thing for you to do is to look for strong displacement candles that create propulsion blocks. Okay, So after you have identified, the strong displacement candles that create propulsion blocks, then you mark the origin of that move as your reference point. All right, your reference zone rather. Then you wait for the price to return to the block. You watch for continuation in the direction of the original move. Okay, so this approach keeps you focused on high quality setups and avoids the noise of smaller, weaker moves. Propulsion blocks are not just random candles. Okay, they are footprints of smart money showing you where the real power in the market lies. All right. So if you start practicing this concept, you will notice how often price respects these zones. The more you study them, the easier it becomes to recognize institutional intent and plan your trades accordingly. Okay, so basically, that is the breakdown of the ICT propulsion block. If this explanation gave you some clarity, make sure to click the like button and hit subscribe so you never miss future breakdowns on ICT strategies, smart money concepts, and Forex trading education. Meanwhile, before we wrap up completely, I need to just talk a little bit about risk management, okay? Irrespective of the strategy that you are using, ensure that you always prioritize risk management because it is necessary. You might have a great strategy, yeah, but if you are not able to manage your risk, that strategy might look like it is not a good strategy. Okay, so ensure that you always manage your risks properly. Do not trade with an amount that you cannot afford to lose, and do not risk large percentages of your account balance per trade. Okay, don't over leverage. All right, you can just risk perhaps about 1 to 2% of your account balance in a single trade. You shouldn't go beyond that for the purpose of risk management. But if you are an aggressive trader and you like to risk 50% of your account per trade, well, just know that you are likely signing up for blowing of your account. So you have to just be careful the way you trade, manage your risks appropriately. It's actually good for you in the long run. Okay, so in this example now, if we are going to execute a trade, we should be targeting a risk to reward ratio of about 1 to 2. So as price came back to test this zone, we look for a good confirmation, and you can see we had a good confirmation here. So we could have just entered, stop loss above that zone, take profit, ensure we have a risk to reward of at least 1 to 2. We can use a support or resistance zone, right, as a reference point. So you can see this was a good risk to reward ratio. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.